to our day 25 of Nursery Rhyme Challenge. Today we are going to learn about a small tiny creature who was mischievous and went somewhere where she was not supposed to go. Can you guess? It's a tiny creature and it starts with M. I'll give you 1 second to think. All right, let's get started. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 2, the mouse said, "Achoo!" Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 3, the mouse did flee. Or you can say the mouse said, "Wee!" Hickory dickory dock. And you can actually go on and on and on and say, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 4, he hit the floor, the mouse hit the floor, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 5, the mouse took a dive, hickory dickory dock, and many other variations. So hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 6, yeah, the mouse, he split, hickory dickory dock. So these are all additional verses to the traditional rhyme, and traditional rhyme is pretty much 1, 2, 3. Hickory dickory dock. There are a few ways you can play this song on nursery rhyme. One is just with down chords like this, which I think is the simplest way. And the chords you need for hickory dickory dock are G, then, so that's hickory, then D7, dickory, then back to G, dock, then again G, the mouse ran up, D7, and then G, the clock. G again, the clock struck 1, and then changing it to C, the mouse ran down, then back to G, hickory dickory dock. And now I'll play it a little bit harder. So because it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a waltz. And that's why we need to kind of create this rhythm as well with children. And we also need to change the tempo when it comes to the second part, because it ran, yes, so or it flew, or it hit the floor, so it was kind of motion, right? So at first it's very tiny steps like this, right? Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down, hickory dickory dock. So that's a very soft version, okay? If we will use chords, we will use something like that. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down, hickory dickory dock. Remember we learned last time that change of chords from G to D7 back to G. So this song will require you to change G and D7 back to G a lot. Hickory Dickory Dock. So you see it creates this like fluctuations, yes, so up and down. Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. There you go. So some extensions. One of the best extensions for this game would be to talk about mice and to talk about clocks. Yes, simple as that. But before we start, a little bit of history with Hickory Dickory Dock. So this obviously is an English rhyme as well and relates to one famous tower clock that was, well, they don't really remember the exact history of origins of this nursery rhyme, but it was a counting rhyme related to the tower clock to teach children how to count, and also it was entertaining. And because of Hickory Dickory, this fun with words, it was really great way to teach children rhyming and also to talk about 1, 2, 3, right? So and then one down, yeah, 2 flew, 3 flee, yeah, or we. Yeah, so a lot of variations now. If you go to YouTube, you will type in Hickory Dickory Dock and you will find a lot of new channels like Simple Songs and Cocomelon, and they would be talking about different versions, and there will be quite cool twist on this traditional nursery rhyme. What we can do in terms of extensions. Yes, so first thing, of course, you're gonna sing this song and learn it with children. So you can start with a simplified version, which has only 3 rhymes. Yes, so and then you need to learn the gestures. Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse, or you can do like this way to show the tick tock, tick tock. Yes, so that would be tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and then you can start. Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck 1, the mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Simple, right? So then Hickory Dickory Dock, the mouse ran up the clock. Boom! The clock struck 2. The mouse said achoo! Hickory Dickory Dock. Yep. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 3. The mouse flee. Hickory Dickory Dock. So that's a simple version. So I would show children different types of watches, clocks, including Fitbit and Apple Watch and clock that we use in classroom if we have some. I will show children pictures of different types of watches and clocks, including the tower clock, grandfather clock, which gives them a lot of information to process, and we'll talk about how whether they've seen clocks like this, what is similar, what are the differences, and this really supports not just vocabulary, because you talk about watches, clocks, wrist watches, different types of pocket watches. You also enhance their knowledge of the world and history, yeah, what people used to do. You also introduce concepts of science, including time. Make sure to introduce beautiful sand clock that now are available for classrooms and they are safe. Or if it's a group time, you can always bring some very rare antique clocks as well and let them have a look or take turns, but be careful, of course, because we are dealing with children. So this is the first thing that I will do. I will definitely talk about clock. The second thing, it could be a good introduction into understanding time, and it's pretty easy to show children what time is through something that they can relate to. So in our case, we don't need to teach them time at the age of 3 because it's too early. You can start developing the knowledge, but cognitively they might not be ready. There are few resources that can help to understand time, and some children actually grasp it faster than others, but typical age would be 5, 6, because you need to understand the pretty much geometry and angles, and you need to understand well, what is half, what is quarter. So it's a little bit difficult for children to get the concept of time. But what they understand is the rhythm, and they understand routines, and they understand the morning and afternoon, and they understand the night. So they know what happens first, what happens next, and also you can help them to find one and show with two hands the clock face and let them manipulate. So I would also create as an activity experience, as a follow-up experience, clock face with children using recycled resources, and then they can draw their numbers, which could be amazing STEM activity as well. And you can help them to find one and put hands in order. Of course, it's intentional activity, so a lot of this would be child-centered yet supported by educator, but depends on your resource. Really great way to introduce time, right, and understanding time. Next thing I would do, what kind of mice have you seen? What do you know about mice? Who they are? What kind of mice have you seen? And I would definitely talk about some endangered animals as well. For example, we have a lot of possums here in Australia. We have a lot of field mice that are actually native type of rats and rats and mice, and well, for example, bilby, it's not exactly a mouse, but it's a type of animal that is very endemic for Australia, and it's cute because it's got really big ears, and the way it moves is also quite funny. It lives in the desert. The other type of marsupial interesting animal as well is bandicoot, so you can have a look at those ones and show children different types of mice looking creatures. Here you can talk about the fear as well, because the mouse kind of is trying to climb up the clock, and the clock, and we are talking about tower clock, struck 1, and then you can actually play this sound of the tower clock on smartboard, or use your phone or iPad to recreate this sound. Or if you have a gong, or if you have a big bell, cowbell, you can also like struck it, and that this way children will understand how loud is this sound. So the mouse is scared, right? And she ran down. Oh my God! Yep. And then she's trying to go up, and the clock struck 2. So it keeps scaring poor mouse. Okay, so this is the way to talk about fear. Fear of unknown, loud noises, so children can bring up a discussion about their fears, and what kind of sounds frighten you. So this is a perfect yarning circle discussion or group circle discussion, where you can talk with children about something that they're scared of, and of course introduce some strategies. The other thing is to include a discussion about sounds. For example, this one has hickory dickory, but tick-tock as well. We can introduce other sounds that are quite interesting as well. For example, shh, and similar kind of sounds. Sound of a car, how do we say it, vroom vroom, which would be a great support for language development, vocabulary development, and also will support ESL learners. Next thing is a story. I really like this extension. Story about the mouse. So what did this mouse do? And why did it start going up the clock? What do you think she was trying to find there? Was it just curious? And this actually really is a great co-creation of the story, which is supported by the social cultural theory and supports home literacy as well. You can ask families if they have similar rhyme in their languages as well. If you remember previous live streams, you might learn sign language for clock, for mouse, and recreate this with children. Also learn 1, 2, 3, yeah, as well as signs, and introduce them into your song. Next thing I would do is sequencing. We didn't really talk much about sequencing. You can find my previous videos on Creative Fabric resources where I talked about how they have these wonderful teaching resources and they have sequencing for nursery rhymes. So we need to know as well, and then this is reinforces the concept of time. What happened first? A hickory dickory dock, yes, so that's a first phrase. Then the mouse ran up the clock, so mouse going up. The clock struck, that's the second step, right? And then the mouse went down, so that's the third step. We have 3 steps here, and children can sequence them in order. Right? So to make it a little bit more complex for all the children, we can introduce additional verses such as the clock struck 4, the clock struck 5, etc., etc. So here you go. This is just few ideas. And the final one is a game. In Russian culture or in Soviet Union where I grew up, we had this game called Koshki-Myshki or Cat and Mouse. And I'm sure there is a similar version in your country, in your language. So post in the comments below if you do have this game and if you played this game. So one of the children is a cat or it, I guess. And the other one is, others are mice. And the cat is trying to catch the mice. And once it touches the mouse, then this mouse becomes the cat. So it's a version of chases or tiggies as we call them. And you can actually add a wonderful song. I will have to use the book because I don't remember the song by heart, which is called Old Grey Cat. I will post it in the description. And just remember that it's an amazing game to play with children. It can be one of your favorite games to play. So I encourage you to do that. One is obviously Old Grey Cat. Old Grey Cat is sleeping. Old Grey Cat is sleeping in the house. So one child pretends to be a cat and they curl up, yeah, pretending to sleep. The little mice are creeping. The little mice are creeping through the house and they creep around the cat. The old grey cat is waking. The old grey cat is waking through the house. So cat slowly starts to wake up and sits up and stretches. The old grey cat is chasing. The old grey cat is chasing through the house. So this is the moment when they start playing this cat and mice. So when it chases mice, all the mice are squealing. Guess what? That's their favorite part. Yeah, when they can scream. All the mice are squealing through the house. And then the cat catches a mouse. The mouse becomes a cat. So this is one of the best games you can play with children outside, especially now when generation inactive, digital, sitting too much in front of the screens. Wonderful way to enjoy the rest of your afternoon, family gathering time when children being picked up, outdoor play, and also introduce more complex play to children. So these are my ideas about Hickory Dickory Dock. Keep playing ukulele. And as some of you already know, on Facebook and on YouTube community, through YouTube community tab, I already posted the rules for the contest for our first giveaway. So this is my channel giveaway. I'm giving not this baritone ukulele, but the other wonderful one. And you have a chance to win it. All you have to do is to post a comment about why would you like to win this ukulele and how it will improve your life as a teacher, educator, and how it will change lives of children you are teaching. So in other words, how you are going to use it. Please leave comments in this dedicated section on Facebook page. If you are not part of my Facebook page, you can click on YouTube tab on the top, and also the link will be provided in the description. Connect with me through social media, and you can also find the contest in community tab. I will post it again, just a reminder, because we have a few more days until next Sunday to participate, and I will remind about this contest every day I am doing the live stream. So this was the day 25. Tomorrow is day 26. We're slowly getting closer to day 30 and the end of our challenge. Thank you for watching, even if you're watching and recording. And next time, think of joining me and singing with me, asking questions. Bye!